Ladies and gentlemen, Keith from iRepair Autos. Today I'm going to look at the Mercedes suspension noise that I'm hearing coming from the right passenger wheel, and you hear it when you go over a bump or hit a pothole. So I'm going to investigate and find out what that is, and we should be able to fix it. Alright guys, so I've taken off the front wheel, jacked up the car, and I have a safety jack under there. First thing I want to do when I'm looking for a suspension noise, I just want to take a quick look at all of the bushings, rubber connections, to make sure nothing's obviously bad or torn or exposed, metal on metal. That sound you normally get is metal on metal, and that's what I'm looking for first of all. So I'm checking in between all of those various connection points to make sure that that's not the case. Most of the time you're not gonna see anything that's obvious. What you're gonna then have to do, you're gonna have to start prying around and looking, and depending on where it is, it could be a real pain in the butt to change out. So I'm hoping it's this vertical tie rod right here. I'm hoping it's that. Now, using a pair of gloves on my hand, I'll start to turn the pieces, wiggle them around to see if anything is making noise. Sometimes you can just rattle it back and forth. If that's not the case, then I'm going to show you a little trick that I use. Taking a jack, put it to its lowest point, and we're going to have to jack the car up a little bit more to rest the suspension. This suspension mechanism on the jack, that's gonna take pressure off of those points. So let's jack the car up a little bit more. We'll place the jack right under there like that, and we're gonna lower this jack slowly onto that point just to put some pressure as if the car was on the ground. Okay, now that that's done, these pieces should be under less extended pressure, and sometimes that helps you in finding where that problem may lie. Let's take a look now. Sometimes finding suspension problems are difficult. Looking for nothing obvious yet. That one does kind of seem like it has metal on metal when I hit right here. Hear how that sounds? That's different than these. Hear the difference? Now listen to this. That's metal on metal. So this part right here, sway bar linkage, this is what that is. The sway bar linkage needs to be replaced. It's shot. And when we're going to do a sway bar linkage change, you're going to change both sides, left and right. This is the passenger side. So we're going to change the sway bar linkage. This vertical piece right here, we're going to change that sway bar linkage out. So stay with me as we do that. So ladies and gentlemen, in the background I have a Mercedes ML350 suspension noises. I've narrowed it down to some stabilizer links, and the only thing to do with these things is to replace them. You can't fix that. You got to replace that part. So I'm going to go to the store, grab it, slap it in, show you how to do it properly, torque everything down nicely, and call it a wrap. Alright, so here's the new stabilizer link, and if you pay close attention, this bolt section right here is shorter than this section right here. The shorter end goes up top, the lower end goes through the stabilizer. Comes with two bolts, two brand new bolts, and those are 21 in metric size. You're also going to use this Torx T45, because if you look at the inside of it, it has that nice little facilitator connection point. I'm going to be using a little bit of rust release penetrant on both sides of the stabilizer linkage, and I'll just let that sit there for about 10 minutes. So the penetrant has been working its way in, and I used the breaker bar right here just to loosen up the top one, and now I'm going to use this. Now we're going to work on the bottom one. So now we're getting the lower one. Everything is under pressure, so there's a trick involved to get that out, and it's just like I showed you before. You lower the jack, You'll basically get your stabilizer bar to be loose just like this. Once it's loose like this, you can just pop it out from bottom and top, removing the old one. Make sure you put back on your little spindles, and while everything is still in that loosed position, you can then start by connecting the top one. Once the top one is in place, then you'll then push the bottom one into position as well. Gently tapping it into position, both sides. The next thing we'll do, we'll put the bolts on. The bolts will pull it the rest of the way in. Mercedes original parts are T45. Once that's done, then you know you gotta torque that puppy down. Alright, so I always like to review the bad part that was replaced. Looking at this part, hear that? It's worn out. And what happens when you hit a bump, that's a sign you're here. Alright, so this is how to change your stabilizer links video. Keith from iRepair Autos. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and thumbs up the video. All parts are listed in the description below. Cheaper than at the dealer. Thanks.